Good morning, precious friends. Once again, not planned. Video not planned. Got up this morning, decided I need to coffee dye some paper, so I quickly did that. And I have this desire to just add some plants into my journals, So the first thing I then think of is my jelly plate. I always come back to my jelly plate just to play whenever I feel not really overwhelmed, but just, I don't know, I just love jelly plate printing. And then what I really want to do, I just want to press. Look at this. This is a little thing that I had to pull out of my garden. They call it a weed. We call it a weed because of our judgment. And so I'm going to honor this little weed by just pressing it. You can see I already did one. I'll show you now. That is awesome. I got this packaging, brown paper, and it came with a package. And the awesome thing is I could tore it there in these strips. Fantastic. So there's nothing nicer to me than to add brown paper into my little journals. I love it. I love the effect. It's already looking old, so I don't need to worry about that. So first of all, I've put black on the jelly plate. Now I've got my window open so there's a nice breeze coming in. So just look at that. It's not even, I am not going to do anything more. This is good enough for this piece of paper. Because I want the print and I want that. So I'm busy. I created this little journal yesterday. Really just added some papers in and I just had to use my coffee dyed. So why not? Let's just press this little thing. Oh, it's very flimsy. Let's just press it. Now I'm running out of space. I now need to get this. So what I could have done, I could just have jelly plate printed this on here. But you know what? This method, so I just placed it loosely on with the black onto the paper, and now I'm just going to press just to get it into my book. This is what I wanted to do this morning. Once again, one thing lead to the next, and what I actually realized yesterday, it was amazing. A friend of mine came to visit and I blessed her. Look at this. Look how beautiful. Now the little plant is so fragile that I cannot get the little leaves off. Oopsie. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until that one dry. But look at this. There was nothing. And it is my old paper that I got put in there. Now look on the other side. This is, to me, this is what makes me come alive. Just press a little flower, a weed, onto a page. Isn't that awesome? So what I've realized yesterday, a couple of things I've realized yesterday. Remember, I made these things. I don't like it. You saw the video. I created them and I made more. I watched another video and the woman actually used 2 pieces of paper that she then sewed, and then she just put it in warm water, take it out, did this, and they came out very, very ruffled. So I did that. Brown paper, now I don't know. I've put it in my sketchbooks, but you know me, I work in now these days in more than one. Oh yeah, this is the one. Remember the green one we made? Look at that. So I added it in my little sketchbook and I liked that idea. And then this morning I just glued some of my coffee dyed leaves. You can see I just glued that on. So that page now works for me. But at first I thought, I don't really like that. But then I realized I need to incorporate it in things that I do like. So I did it. Once again, I just added a leaf in my book. I just had to show you this. And look at that beautiful page. It's an old mark book or something that I bought at the charity shop. And I've dyed it. This is actually why I coffee dyed this morning. This is just gorgeous. I think this was tea dyed. I don't know what I did if it is tea dyed, but it just makes it a little bit more earthy, less green, blue, whatever the color is. So I did it, and now I'm absolutely in love with it. But look at that picture. You see, this speaks to me. Take ordinary things, put them together, and voila. So yes, when I did that and I put that in, it worked as well. Then there was another one. I'm not, but I did one of those with look, I picked this up, a piece of bark thing outside. You know, this speaks to me. Okay, so what I realized, I don't really like it. I don't know if I'll do it again. But when you incorporate it with your other things, it's not bad. Remember the one? Look, the music sheet. I put the 2 pieces out there. And this is the little one that dried. So when you put this into your sketchbook, it's not bad. So once again, even if you don't like something on its own, yesterday I was just sitting last night and I was just tearing papers and just put them together and voila, another little sketchbook. How easy is this? Someone gave husband some dried meat, biltong as we call it, in this paper. So guess what? So I'm using that. So there's my old check and things, and then there's the paper. Look there. Once again, between those two, I like it. So this one was the one that I stitched 2 together, and then you really, let me just take it out for you. Then you don't take pieces out. You just do this as if you wash it and you pull it a little bit, and then it just looks like this, broken. So, but once again, I'm glad I did it. I even used a green yarn because my bobbin ran out of yarn. So I used green yarn, and that I actually like. So once again, put it between my pages, and now it's actually not bad. Will I do it again? Who knows? But I'm still glad I did it. because it really, really, it was fun getting to know me once again. What do I like? What do I don't I like? So that is it. So this one I really do not like. This is the little paper towel thing. But I will incorporate it somewhere. So what I wanted to say. Let me just get this off here. There must be, but I don't know if it's dry yet. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit. I'm gonna just clean this here. And then I'm gonna see if I can put another color on. So a friend of mine came to visit yesterday. And actually the woman that helped me on my journey when I started painting. She's the one that came. I said I've got this money from my uncle. My uncle blessed me with some money. And I said, you know what, I really don't want to throw it in the bottomless pit. I want to do something with it. So husband said, why don't you take art classes? You always wanted to do art classes. I said, yes, okay, great, fine. I would love that, but I don't want to work with a small little paintbrush and take hours. I want to work with my hands and I want to lots of paint and blah, blah, blah. So I said, like Lensha does, that's my friend. But I haven't seen her in years, so guess what? That weekend, we went to a braai, a party. There they were. So husband immediately said, hey, Lensha, Izette wants to paint. Will you help her, please? She said, of course. And she told me, get this paint and 3 large canvases. I wanted to make a photo thing for my, above my dining room table. So, she came the Saturday, and that's how we started. We worked so well together. She was the one that did these introduction to art workshops. Her friend asked, a partner said he doesn't want to do it anymore. That was helping her with it. And she asked, will I help with the classes? I said, of course, because I loved it. So I started helping her, and later we became really partners in this thing. Then she went back to school, become a full-time teacher, and I took over the introduction to art workshops, plus you can see where I'm now. She came to visit, so we don't see each other a lot these days, but she came to visit, and I blessed her with a little envelope, you know, the ones I made with the 1960s on envelopes. So I blessed her with a little journal like this. And I cannot tell you how blessed she was. Because she really, once again, that's all what we all say, doesn't have the time to create. Really, she's got grandchildren living close by. Her mother is old and needs lots of attention. And she's a full-time teacher and blah, blah, blah. So she's really busy. And I gave her this little book, Gratitude Journal. And I cannot tell you how that blessed her, because you've got time to work on one little page. How long did it take me to do that? You know, or just glue something in your little book. So this morning I came and I sat and I just glue my 3 things in my book. And this is, I glue that page, this little page. It takes 5 minutes, but the effect of just creating something is the same. Whether you do a large painting or you do a little page in a little booklet, it's the same. Okay, so for the first time, I've never done this, let it dry and then another one. So let's see how it goes. I don't know if it's actually dry and now it's actually coming off. I'm now pulling it off. So guess what? I'm going to put my leaf, a little leaf. Now let's just put these little leaves on again. Perhaps there comes the other one. This is what I say. Let's do this and let's do that and see how it goes. So back to my friend with the gratitude journal. All of a sudden, she's got the tools to start creating. Isn't that magical? You don't need lots of art supplies. You don't need anything large and expensive and big, things that's too much for you to start creating. So here you see very interesting things happening here. So I'm going to pull this off, and then once again I'm not going to put something on there. But look at the brown paper. Isn't it just magical? I love the brown paper. What I'm also realizing, look at this. This is one of my papers that didn't work very well. The wind got hold of them. But let's see what's going to happen if I put this on. I've realized my coffee dyed and my dyed papers, they work fantastic with these prints. This is actually more prints than, you know, the 3-layer jelly plate prints and whatever. Oh goodness, look at this. This I love. It's just a hint. It's just a little something on that paper, and now I can do whatever I want on that. I also want to show you, where's that one? Blue. I did my leaf, the big leaf, on that paper. So, you know, I just add this. You can tear it, you can add it, you can do whatever. But as I said, today I really just, and you can see, I'm going for my blacks and a little bit of green. And guess what color I'm going to do, most probably. Then it goes for the orange, you know. So this was what I wanted to do today. And the best thing ever is what I'm telling you now, is our ability to create. All you need is a journal, a little journal. And the thing is, let me tell you, it's when you tell someone, go and get a sketchbook and start sketching, it's very difficult. Let me tell you, you will know. It's difficult. If you don't have the time really, and you really just want to do something to relax, it's very difficult to do the sketch thing. Because what do you hear most when you say, they ask, what do you do? I say, I'm an artist, and now I create a lot of things. Then they'll say, I'm not creative. I cannot even draw a stick man. So it's difficult when you tell people to get a sketchbook. But the gratitude journal, as I said, this is the one that I did yesterday. Just a little, all my papers in here. The hand-dyed old papers, old magazines. Put anything over here. And you know, you know what I like is the one that you just fasten. Can you see how thick this one is becoming? But now I can fill it up with things that I love. Remember, as I always said, she can now write in it. That's what she says. She's now going to start writing in it, and then one day she's, her kids can read it and have it or whatever. She wants to do such a wonderful, make it in a journal. But then she also said, you know what, I've got, so now I'm using it. Let's get another sketchbook. Look at my little one. And here, I'm looking now for a clean paper. There's a clean piece of paper. I'm just going to press. Whoopsie. Need to get it in. Press it in there. It just gives another dimension to your little book. So back to her little book. She can do anything. She says she's got the most beautiful little buttons and things that she now wants to add. And I told her, when a kid gives you a letter or a little letter at school, a thank you note, you can add it in there. You can add a feather in. I picked up a feather at my back door and it's here. So I'll incorporate it. Look at that. So it is so easy. And the awesome thing with the gratitude journal, you can put in it whatever you want. And what is wonderful to you. Now, I haven't even started this little one yet. As I said, I'm gonna press this one in here. It just gives it there on the brown paper. I am just going to press it. So in your gratitude journal, you put in and you do what comes naturally to you. As I said, the slow stitching. You just stitch a little beautiful piece of cloth that you got somewhere or that you picked up. Look at that scene. Isn't it gorgeous? So plain, but just so beautiful. So now I've once again forgot about this on here. Look at this. No, I don't think I'm gonna do that. It's a little white handkerchief. But this is one of my dyed pieces of cloth. Let me see. And this cloth, it was so funny. Before I tea dyed it, it was white. And it really looked like nothing. And now it is beautiful and nothing comes off here. But now I've got a piece of cloth with a little bit of black on that I can do something with. So I just wanted to, once again, when I came here and I sat here, I just started to play and I thought, why not encourage you to join me and let's just talk. Let's just play. So I just want you to see how easy it is to just start playing and just do whatever you feel like doing. Don't overthink. Just do what makes you come alive. As I told you, really I don't want to do anything these days that's difficult. Life's difficult in this realm. We need things that make us come alive. And that's exactly what my friend said. But the ability of that little journal to start her playing again. That to me is absolutely priceless. I'm gonna go for this and just loosely put this on to get the... So once again, just put that in my journal. Let's see if I can get any green off here. Okay, so I kind of messed it up a little bit, or whatever you want to call it. As I said, today it's all about playing. Let me just get a little bit of orange and see what's gonna happen then. So if you don't have a little gratitude journal, and the reason I keep calling it, I don't want to call it a junk journal. It's a gratitude journal. So as soon as I say the word and I start to work in it, I focus on what are the things in my life that makes me grateful. Not the things that I don't have. I don't focus on that. I just sit, I just focus on the things that makes me come alive, the things that makes me glad to be alive, that I'm thankful for. And I just add that into my book. And the awesome thing is when you then feel a little down later or next day, then you go back and you see, now it's always difficult for me not to go back in there. I'm going, look at this dirty one. So usually when it's so dirty, it's still the coffee. Then before I use it, I just remove all the sand. As I said, when I get outside, I'll have to get all my papers that's now most probably also blowing around, but I don't care about them. Those, I just placed them. Once again, I used my old coffee grounds and just added some water on it. And now so this is just marks. This is just marks. What I now can do with that is I can slow stitch leaves on it. I can add whatever I want. I can glue leaves on there. You see, it's just a base and nothing needs to be perfect. But just look at this little shot. Isn't it gorgeous? It's just my leaves. So I am now going to dry this just like that in a book. Because look how gorgeous. So see, it's a begonia leaf, so I don't know how they will dry. But I'm placing them now between my papers and in my big book. And I'm just going to forget about it. And guess what? Whenever I find them again, I'm going to be blessed. So, as once again, this is pure going with the flow. I did not plan it. I didn't plan making the video. I just came and sat, and then I thought, let me just share it with you so that you can know how easy it is. Really, really how easy it is to create. Do what you love. So once again, get back to the little book. My friend, in her little journal that is as like this, exactly the same as this. I just added my things in, you know, the plain things. Now she's gonna fill it up with things that makes her glad to be alive. So what a wonderful, wonderful little tool a small gratitude journal is. Another thing, I've got many bigger ones, larger ones, and great. Then I've got my large one. It's actually difficult for me, or more difficult, not as easy, call it that, because I don't want to use the word difficult when you create, because there's nothing difficult on create, but it is less easy for me to work in that one, because the pages are large and you need to do a lot of things. In these small ones, you add one leaf and you've got a beautiful, beautiful end result that makes you glad to be alive. So get a small one and just work in it and just play. And whenever you feel life is getting too difficult or too heavy, you know, when life gets too heavy, just go and sit a couple of minutes. What I use mostly in my journals is glue, and I just glue things on. Is my slow stitching things. I just stitch my leaves and my whatnot that I get. Then I have watercolors that I use a lot, and then once in a while I sit and I just press. More, you don't need a jelly plate. I really just use this jelly plate because I have it. This is the new one that I made actually from my old jelly plate. So I don't know, but half of the old jelly plate, when I melted it, it became thick and terrible gooey, so I had to throw that out. But this is about half the thickness, and look how wonderful. It's still fantastic. So all the other stuff I bought to make a new one, I haven't used yet. So I was actually a little bit, didn't know how this thin one is gonna work, but look at me. It's working fantastic. So once again, use what you have, even your abilities, call it that at this stage. It's so awesome. Every single one of my journals look totally different, because when I created them, I was in a different place. So they're all different. I showed my friend, remember the ones that I did when I was ill, when I was in bed, when I didn't feel perfect. Don't use the word sick anymore. I was a little offish, so I was in bed recovering. You know how we speak? We got to learn how to speak. Because what we say today, that will create the future. What will happen? You know, if I say, oh, I feel tired, and oh, what a boring day, and today is just so heavy and bad, and you know, you create more of those. But if you start to be present and you start to speak differently, you create a different future, you know. So that's why I am learning. I am practicing to no longer speak anything negatively. So when I made that journals, remember I was there in bed and I was jumping up and down and running, and at that stage I did a lot of I used a lot of my little cloths, my fabrics, and my vintage things. So there's a lot of sewing involved there, and a lot of beautiful little pieces of fabric, and different things. When I looked at it yesterday, and I did that about 2 months ago, I kind of shocked. I couldn't believe I did that. It was totally different from what I'm doing now, because I'm in a different place. headspace, call it what you will. And guess what? It's perfect. So that is the thing with these, call it intuitive creating, and these little gratitude journals and things. It teaches you to just be in the moment and just do whatever the life in you leads you to do and be done with it. It is so funny. I tried this. I created these little books also months back. Remember? Because then I said I don't want to write all my things really. A lot of times I listen to teachings and things, and it's more like just you write down what you want to remember. And so I don't want to have all those things in my journals. So I made these little books. This one is now filled, but I absolutely love this. This front is just, to me, the most beautiful. An old letter that I found in the charity shop, a music sheet, a piece of paper at the back, and then I just stitch a leaf. But it's so beautiful. So I actually brought this. This is how my creative day started this morning. Was still in bed looking at this, and then I thought, I need to go and make more of these. I came and I sat here and I tried to do this. I couldn't do this. So I realized it's done. It's in the past. I moved on. Be happy about this and just do what you are led to do today, because this is where I am. So there's no condemnation. There's no, look at this, just how beautiful that is. Absolutely no intuitive creating, and that is what I am learning the importance of. And I don't care if you are a professional artist in let's say oil. You got to play. You got to have a little gratitude journal where you can just listen to the life and just go with the flow. The woman that gave me those books the other day, that lives around the corner, she said she also creates and is an artist and do oil. And I told her about my things, and you know, they knew, they came to live here, and I just realized she need to start doing this to get out of that. I was there. I did my acrylic paints, and I was getting really bored with it. It didn't teach me anything. I could do it, so I was just doing it. And, you know, there was so a lot of pressure on me because it needs to be able to sell, and it needs to be beautiful, and it needs to this. I put it on me. And then I started with this, and my life is changing. I am loving my creative journey. I am experiencing more of me. I am letting go of the things that I need to let go of. And it's awesome learning all these new things. But the biggest thing that I'm learning is just follow your heart. Go with your excitement. Go get up and just go and do what you wanted to do. This is what I did this morning. I was outside coffee dyeing my papers, and then I thought, now I want to go, and I just want to play on my jelly plate. And I plucked my I saw this big leaf, and I thought, oh, what a beaut. I plucked it, 2 more, pulled this out, and I came and I sat down, and I just put on the thing to share with you. And it's amazing. So that I wish, and I was trying to, you know, to tell that woman to start doing this, start experimenting, but you cannot walk anybody else's path. You can only do what you can do. And this is what I'm doing, and what I'm led to do is sharing and doing my things and growing. And look at this, after 40 minutes, in between the talking, I created all of these. And in my little books. And I got to spend time with you, because this is what I'm doing, sharing, spending time. And I'm blessed. I am absolutely blessed. So this video is actually about the message of why all of us need a gratitude journal. Remember years back, really, my little grandchild is now 6.5. And let's say 2 years ago, we were sitting in the park and she had a little rucksack, and out came her little book. That was before I started my journaling. And actually, I started with my sketchbook, with a sketchbook. But that was practice, and practice, trying to practice and trying to, but I did was necessary, because those were stepping stones that got me here. So she was sitting, and out came a little sketchbook and a pen, and it was so cute, and she just started to draw. And isn't that touched me very deeply? That little girl, she was about 4, had a sketchbook, her little book in her backpack, and her little pens and things. And there in the park, the little boy was playing, and I was sitting there with her, and out came this. It was the most beautiful thing ever. I took photos. It is somewhere on my Instagram and whatever, but I said 2 years back. And I even then, she was drawing the house, and the house next door to the park. And I was trying to tell her, no, but you can see the trees are in front. She said, I don't want the trees in front of my house, Oma, Granny, Oma in Afrikaans. They're English, but they call us Oma and Opa. And she drew the little trees going on the side. They started off in the middle of the house, and I just realized, zip your lip, really. Let her do whatever she wants and find absolute joy. Why tell her, no, it must be in front, and you need to get this right, and you need to get that right. And just let her create. So I'm learning that now. I mean, I was the so-called artist and doing these workshops and everything. And then my little grandchild, she just taught me a massive lesson. Just create, because you love it. And make sure you always have that in your backpack. So that's why I now always have my little art supply thingy in my rucksack whenever I go. And I didn't have it the last time we went overseas. That was now December a year back. I didn't do that, and I really, really missed it. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. We are planning our trip to go there the end of the year to Thailand, to visit them for 6 weeks. So that is coming up. Love you lots, is it from Zetsterlab. Thank you for spending time with me. Isn't it precious? There's nothing more precious than spending time with one another. So, love you lots. Get up and go and do what makes you come alive. Makes this day awesome. I'm going to stop with this. Oh my goodness. So as we were sitting and having breakfast, I was starting to feel half, this, you can feel this black cloud coming. And thoughts like, oh, I'm alone today, nothing is happening, it's weekend, it's only me and husband and at the house, and everybody's doing something and we're just here. And I wanted to start a pity party. And I stopped immediately. I said, I'm not going there. Really, I'm not going there. And I start to focus on this day. Look at this day as a separate life. That is my motto, one of them. This day as a separate life. So go and do this day what makes me excited. Follow your excitement, your biggest excitement. Do that this day in wherever I find myself. So I'm home with husband and my 2 dogs in my beautiful house with all my art supplies and all my things. And I've decided just there and then I'm ignoring this pity party. I'm not going to go to that party. I am just going to do today what the life in me is leading and allowing me to do. And look at this, I'm having the time of my life. So just focus on this day. That's all you have to do. Do not go into this future with all its vain imaginations of what might happen, what might not happen, and oh, poor me, and and the kids are not here, and blah, blah, blah. Focus just on this moment and go and do what makes you come alive, feel alive, glad to be alive in this moment, in this day. And guess what? At the end of this day, I am going to have had a fantastic day because that's what I chose, and I chose my excitement in the midst of where I find myself with what I have. My little plants, my little papers, and I'm just having a ball. So don't listen to your mind and go to that pity party. Know in your heart that the life in you and on all others is in control, and everything is unfolding as it should, that there is a bigger picture that we don't understand. But if we want to be part in helping this world, then we got to do it in the right spirit. Peace and joy in the midst of whatever is happening. So go and do whatever